Oh, hallo. Es geht weiter, wo ich heute Morgen beendet habe. Es fesselt mich ein bisschen so die Geschichte. Es ist wie wenn man ein gutes Buch liest und man unbedingt wissen will, wie es weitergeht. Ich muss wieder zurück ins Krankenhaus.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Wieder zurück zum Krankenhaus.
It's locked.
Kurz die Lage checken, ob alle gesund sind. Wer ist das? Oh, das ist der Blinde.
You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other?
Maybe it's time to see if this casino is still working nearby. Who distributes flowers?
One cordial can be the answer to all your problems, as long as you have the money.
I cannot
Wir
enter.
machen jetzt alles zu. Eieiei. Jetzt plötzlich ist alles wieder abgeschlossen.
This year will give you faith again.
Perhaps I should look into it. Who distribute flowers at this hour of night?
Money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on. We can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another. Please,
It's a killer demon!
you pay for that!
Hier lang. Ja, weiter geht's. Das ist wie wenn man ein gutes Buch liest. Man will unbedingt wissen, wie die Geschichte weitergeht. Also so geht's mir momentan. Na, keine Kamera heute.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you.
Was ist nun los? Ist das oder war unser Vampyr, wo wir suchen?
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making. This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you? I am the land. You are our champion. You selected me. Chose me. As shall my children yet to come. What is it you seek? This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged. This has something to do with the epidemic. Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur. I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave.
Meine Bannstufe.
So,
Meine Bannstufe ist noch 2. Ich brauche aber Bannstufe 3, um diesen Blinden zu befragen.
the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity. Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Oh, das Telefon.
It's locked.
Vorhin ist hier was aufgetaucht von wegen Belauschen. Aber jetzt kommt's nicht mehr, ne?
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Merkwürdig. Dieses Blut ist doch auch neu.
Jonathan, my sincere condolences for your loss.
Your kindness is much appreciated, my lady.
Is there anything you require?
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan. Present company excluded. Accepted.
I don't know what to expect. Am I cursed to an eternity of solitude?
With time, we Ekon tend to go into isolation. If we survive long enough, that is.
As a practitioner of the medical sciences, I'm prepared for the death of loved ones. But mourning in the shadows, deprived of sharing one's grief.
We are no longer a part of the circle of life and death. We are undead, my friend, and so we are outcasts.
I spied my mother at the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
Glaube, ihr können wir trauen.
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking
Könnte
about it.
sein.
Are we then condemned to lie to those we love?
We are creatures of deception, my friend. But this is more for their sake than ours.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan. Present company excluded. Accepted.
Goodbye, my lady. Until we meet again.
Another night.
Das ist ja diese Unterstützerin des Krankenhauses, wo von dieser anderen Krankenschwester erpresst wurde, wo ich versucht habe, den zu retten, aber das ist ja gescheitert. Ist das jetzt ein Problem?
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, Mccullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned the dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
Jonathan, please. I can't rely on anyone else. And this concerns you as it involves vampires. Someone has taken advantage of our more liberal tendencies here.
In what way?
Jonathan, I may turn my head when you or her ladyship indulge, but I will not allow this place to become a nest for street feeders.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Hoi, hoi, hoi. Die Antworten sind jetzt nicht gerade so leicht. Sie werden nicht angreifen, woher soll ich das wissen? Beschütze kann ich auch nicht sagen, weil ich nicht weiß.
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
Mccullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Aha, jetzt kann ich wahrscheinlich zu diesem East End, wo ich vorher nicht durchgekommen habe, wo die Tore alle zu waren. Oh ne, das ist West End. West End, da konnte ich nicht rein. Und jetzt muss ich zu East End. Wo ist ein East End? Und die Docks. Also wieder zurück an die Docks.
If you don't mind, I have a few questions.
I'd be delighted to help you if I'm able.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel. He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets are overflowing with them these days.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable sense of menace.
You need to be careful, Jonathan. You've no idea what this creature really is.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a very unpleasant experience.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampirism has proved somewhat insubstantial, to say the least.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter than little old me.
Is this proof that I'm cursed in the eyes of the divine?
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
What exactly happened here while I was absent?
Hampton turned, quite violently as it happened. Lurking about, attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
Are you sure it was Hampton that killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
How did the guard of Prewen come to hear of this?
Mccullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
Who was that man in your office?
Geoffrey Mccullum, actual leader of the Guard of Prewen. I suspect he's the man behind the rebirth of this old and dusty society.
They know I'm here now, don't they?
I understand your need for blood and will not get in your way. But if you could refrain from feeding within these walls, it would go a long way to defending your case.
What do they hope to achieve?
Their ultimate goal is the eradication of all vampires in the country. They see you as a threat to mankind, Jonathan.
Ja, diese Sherlock Holmes und Agatha Christie Spieler, die mag ich auch, aber die sind meistens, viele davon sind nicht auf Deutsch, noch nicht mal deutsche Text. Das ist dann alles ein bisschen schwierig für mich.
Thank you, Edgar.
Baphomets Fluch und so mag ich ja auch sehr. Die sind wenigstens mit deutschem Untertitel. Oder sogar deutsch synchronisiert teilweise. Früher habe ich auch diese Gabriel Knight Spiele gespielt auf PC. Die waren auch gut. Oder Phantasmagoria.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
The Devil's Dock, ne? Ist auf Deutsch. Okay. Es gibt ja mehrere. Ich kann die halt nicht so auseinanderhalten.
Oh, Jonathan, I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman, butchered by some savage scowl.
Das Antwort, können wir diese Mahlzeit teilen? Welche Mahlzeit?
Would you care to partake in this meal with me?
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent, for there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
Ich hab ein paar Detektivspiele auf der Xbox, aber ich weiß ehrlich gesagt nicht welche. Also ich habe gerade geschaut, ich hab ABC Murders, Agatha Christie und Crimes and Punishment, Sherlock Holmes. Das sind die einzigsten zwei, wo ich habe. Die sind auch relativ teuer. Allgemein diese Sherlock Holmes und Agatha Christie Spiele, die sind nicht gerade so günstig, glaube ich.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Was kostet das? Das liegt doch, glaube ich, auch noch so bei 30, 40 Euro, ne? Es gibt aber davon auch gute und schlechte. Ein paar haben nicht so gute Bewertungen.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's
20
quite a
Euro neu
question.
oder gebraucht?
I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Ja, da ist es 25 Euro gebraucht. Ist es danach die deutsche Veröffentlichung oder diese Importfassung, also diese ohne FSK? Die sind ja meistens günstiger.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
How may I help you, Jonathan?
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Das Jacks Redbad gibt es auch für die Xbox One. Aber nur 360 und wahrscheinlich auch nicht abwärtskompatibel, ne?
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here.
Hopp, kommt, greift an.
Lively! He's on to us! Tricky bastard!
Das weiß ich auch nicht.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top! Pin him down!
Es gibt 2 Stück, glaube ich, für die Xbox One. Irgendwas mit Drache. Mit Drache und irgendwas mit Fluch.
Steady, boys, we've got one of them. Kill it!
Kann ich jetzt die Türe aufmachen?
It's locked, all right. It's locked.
Immer noch nicht.
It's locked, all right.
Durch.
Stupid fucking beast! Take a breath in it! Fuck, it's fast! Grenade!
Ich will doch bloß darüber. Ich will nur auf die andere Seite. So.
Been a while since we've seen any new faces round here.
My words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady. Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point. Who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
Dieser sogenannte Vampirjäger erkennt noch nicht einmal einen Vampir, wenn direkt vor einem steht.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself?
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find him, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I appreciate your concern, but I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton. Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire. Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're a doctor.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me that?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom Watts about him.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
Wir spielen hier Detektivarbeit.
Welcome back, Doctor. Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him.
Oh, man stirbt halt und ich glaube nicht.
Well, try his night asylum. He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Ich denke, das ist vielleicht so, wie wenn sich jemand selbst die Pulsadern aufschneidet und langsam ausblutet. Das ist, glaube ich, auch nicht so angenehm.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
I hope I live long enough to see
Times like these, a good drink's just as likely to cause a problem as to solve one.
Wo ist dieser Stapel mit Plakate? Nimm einige Plakate vom Stapel. Ah, hier.
That's it! Vicious!
Crush the leech!
There's one of them vermin!
So. Ich würde sagen, es geht auch ein bisschen in Richtung Spielemechanik, Mass Effect oder Dragon Age. Man muss halt viel mit den Leuten, mit den NPCs reden. Sehr viel sogar. Und die Gespräche, je nachdem wie man die Gespräche führt, hat Auswirkungen aufs Spiel. Ja genau, so wie Xena sagt.
I cannot enter. I have this thirst for blood. It's locked.
Wieso, weil es regnet? Ja, es ist England, London. Ach, jetzt ist die Tür auf, siehst du? Da konnte ich die ganze Zeit nicht rein.
Seems like the guard of Prewin is on Sean Hampton's trail too.
Don't like that, do ya? Burn it, boy! Take a breath of it! Die, vermin! I'll send you back in a fucking grave! Filthy piece of shit!
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
Ja, genau so. Ich habe hier eine Stufe, ich habe jetzt Bannstufe 2. Also ich kann nur die Leute beeinflussen, wo niedriger oder gleich sind. Man muss halt sehr viel die Karte ist unterteilt in Bezirke. Und man muss gucken, dass die Leute, also die normale Passanten, gesund bleiben, indem man sie mit Medikamenten versorgt. Hier, den habe ich zuletzt geheilt. Dieser hier ist krank, der hat Migräne, dem muss ich noch eine Migräne-Tablette geben. Und je nachdem, wie man die behandelt, verändert sich hier der Status des Bezirks. Frage, oben entlang oder unten bleiben? Ich schau erstmal, was hier ist. Also die hier sind schon stärker in dem Bezirk wie vorher. Ich finde es schade, dass es damals relativ untergegangen ist bei der Presse und von den Leuten. Es ist eigentlich nicht so schlecht. Also mir macht's Spaß.
Better go home, sir.
This is no place for you, sir. Hey! Don't come no closer!
It's locked, all right.
Ja, man kann ja auch anders kämpfen. Ich kann hier ja verschiedene Fähigkeiten erlernen und verschiedene Waffen nutzen. Je nachdem, welche Fähigkeit man hinterlegt, kämpft man ja auch anders. Ja, oben rechts sind die Erfahrungspunkte und wenn ich zu Bett gehe, kann ich die einsetzen und mich quasi hochleveln. Ach, hier ist der Stapel. Na, endlich. So, jetzt muss ich hier vermutlich... Oh, überall Plakate hinhängen. Ja, dann machen wir das halt. Überall Plakate hinhängen. Ah ne, ich muss die verbrennen.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Of course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Oh, your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
Oh no, Miss Paxton, you really don't know my kind. You have no idea who I am.
All right, okay. No need to get all worked up.
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness? I'm no snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Do you need medical help, Miss Paxton?
No, thank you.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton. It's locked, all right.
I hope the turquoise turtles.
Right, Mum? Worries me. Perhaps Sean knows something about him.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The sad saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about the sad saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the sad saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reed.
Sena, kennst du den Film Jack the Ripper mit Klaus Kinski? Ich glaube, Klaus Kinski ist das.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Just
Glad
Franco,
to hear
nee.
that. And if you get into trouble, you can
bin mir
always
sicher, auf
seek
jeden Fall
help
ist
at
er alt, müsste er
Hampton
aus den
shelter.
70er
No
Jahren
one would dare
sein.
to be violent
Aber
there.
das ist kein schlechter Film. Ich schau mal, ob ich ihn finde. Klaus Kinski, Jack the Ripper. So. 19... Doch, Jess Franco, hast recht. Jess Franco Film, 1976. Der Dirnenmörder von London.
Lottie, tell me about the death of your mother.
Giselle killed her, plain and simple. She killed her with her daily whims, her laziness, and her complaints.
That's quite a statement. You can't kill someone because you're fickle.
Mother was very ill,
From Hell ist mit Johnny Depp.
but I
Ja.
forgave Giselle.
Da
What I
hat mir
couldn't
nicht
stand was
gefallen.
how she cried at her funeral like she was the one left alone.
Perhaps your
Brother von
sister is not
Kinski
as
hat mir
tough as
gefallen.
you are.
I know
Das spielt
that,
ihn ganz
and I
gut.
don't blame her. It just makes me sad that my own sister is the person I understand the least.
Giselle is the only family you have left. Don't you think it's time you forgave her?
Sometimes words are harder to forgive than acts, Dr. Reed.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a
Oh, es
patient
gibt
of mine
unzählige
at Pembroke
Filme von
Hospital,
Jack the Ripper.
but he left abruptly.
I see.
Aber auf Netflix
Well, Mr.
eher
Hampton is a
weniger.
discreet and
Höchstens
dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him
neumodischer
soon enough.
Quatsch da. Guck ich nicht gern.
Do you need my medical attention, Miss Paxton?
I'm fine, Dr. Reed. Keep your medicine for those who need it.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Your kind's not welcome here.
This Seymour worries me. Perhaps Sean knows something about him.
It's locked. It's locked.
Ja, die alte Filme, ich weiß nicht, die können irgendwie besser die Atmosphäre und so die Stimmung rüberbringen. Das Hochpolierte, das gefällt mir nicht.
Why the long face, Doctor?
Is it all that worries you, Sean? My long face. Really?
This is a blessing for me, to become a Skal. Immortality gives me more time and energy, if truth be known, to run a shelter. What more could I want?
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
You think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Skal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith, my will is far stronger than his.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other
Genau,
incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her.
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I'll surrender myself to your judgment.
Es ist doch jetzt selber ein Scout, der da... erstatte ihm Bericht. Ja, wenn ich ihn finden würde. Wenn ich ihn finden würde. Ich glaube, er ist unter mir. Nun gut, jetzt warte mal. Wir hatten doch hier noch eine Mission in dem Gebiet. Hier, guck.
Crush the lead, boys! No rest.
Oh je.
seen young Sean around for a while.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Do you need any help?
Rest assured, I will help you, sir. Martin Nightingale, at your service. Please, take a look at my wares.
Your merchandise. I don't really see anything worth having. No offense.
None taken, sir. But please, I need to eat. Perhaps if you keep looking, you'd see something that takes your fancy.
Let me be frank. You're as much of a businessman as I am a werewolf, right?
Who the hell are you to question me? It's hard enough to stay clean when you don't have a place to sleep. I'm doing my best here.
I meant no offense, Mr. Nightingale. I was merely pointing out the fact that you're unlikely to survive long if you continue wandering this path.
And what should I do then, sir? Should I join the Wet Boot Boys like so many others? No thanks. I'd rather be a bad seller than a dead gang member.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood? Have you got any friends around these parts?
Not really. Miss Gillingham smiles and says kind words, but I know she's lost her marbles, especially since her son died.
Tell me about this crazy
woman.
Madness is often mistaken for other conditions.
The poor woman's mad, all right. Kind and all, but she has so much trouble remembering things. She's taken me for a son more than once.
How interesting. I don't suppose you know what happened to her son.
Jack! Rumour has it he tried to tackle some gang lads. I didn't know him well, but I heard he was a nice enough chap. His old ma still thinks he's around.
Young man, do you require medical attention?
I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
Why not try seeking help instead of peddling your wares? I'm sure there are people around here that would gladly help.
There's always the night asylum. I heard it's run by a very nice man, but I'm no beggar. Not yet, at least.
There is no shame in asking for help, my boy. Sometimes it can even be the best course of action.
I don't feel okay with that. I'm gonna make a name for myself, and I'll do it by myself.
Goodbye.
Please, sir. Come and have a gander.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. May I come in?
I already took my medication, Doctor. But thank you.
I'm sorry. Your medication? Have we met before?
Don't tease me like that, Jack. Sorry, what?
I think I should come in, miss. I'd like to check if everything is okay, what with the epidemic spreading across London.
An epidemic, you say? How terrible. I had no idea. But where are my manners? Please do come in, Doctor. You are a doctor, yes?
It's locked, all right.
So viele Kisten sind verschlossen. Weiß auch nicht, wie ich da rankomme. Kann ich mal eh nicht merken, wo die waren. Also
It's locked.
So, Dr. Tippett, what brings you back here? I heard whispers you had a job at that fancy hospital.
I told you my name is Jonathan Reed. Don't you remember?
Of course I do. I remember my name too. Gillingham. But you may call me Enid, Doctor. I'm very happy to see you again.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
Oh no, I don't gossip. That would be most unbecoming of a lady such as myself.
Who are the more influential figures on the docks?
Well, I heard about some terrible illness going around. I would say in that case that it's you, Dr. Tippett.
Is anyone taking care of you, Miss Gillingham?
My son is always here to take care of me. He's a good boy like that, but I do worry that he needs to start living his own life. I would never say that to him, of course.
Enid, have you really no idea what happened to your son? No idea at all?
I've not seen Jack for so long. I lose track of time. Has something bad happened to him?
Was soll ich da jetzt antworten? Soll ich sie anlügen? Soll ich die Wahrheit sagen? Ach, keine Ahnung.
Jack is dead, Miss Gillingham.
Of course he's not. I've seen him. Tonight, in fact. Ever the Joker, Dr. Tippett.
Ja.
I found this watch. It was a gift from you to your boy, wasn't it? I think it should return to you now.
Oh, I remember. Yes, I recall the day I offered Jack this watch. Oh, it was such a beautiful day. Thank you, sir.
Trinkets and possessions help us remember our past. Promise me you'll not lose it.
I would never lose anything that belonged to Jack. Why don't you take this? Dr. Tippett? Please, for your charity.
Do you require medical attention, miss?
I'm glad you asked, Dr. Tippett. I must confess I haven't felt that well of late.
I'll try my best. Here, take this. And please, try to get some rest.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Goodbye, Miss Gillingham.
So. Das hier. Uiuiui, sind neue aufgetaucht. Wo ist er? Ach, da steht er da.
Good evening, Mr. Throckmorton.
Dr. Reed, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
I'm afraid your posters were destroyed.
It cost me good money to print those posters. Such a pity people don't take the vampire menace seriously.
Did you really think the posters would be useful?
See the sad saint of the East End? How a single man can help so many people? I consider myself the discreet protector of these men and women.
Tell me, Ichabod, why do you consider yourself the protector of Sean Hampton's shelter?
He is a truly inspiring example. Dedicated, pious. His shelter is open to all, whoever they are. Most admirable.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throckmorton.
So, es geht Stück für Stück voran. Also, was meinst du jetzt mit Gebissen? Meinst du jetzt im normalen Kampf hier gegen diese Vampirjäger oder meinst du jetzt neutrale Personen? Also ich habe einen bis jetzt getötet. Also von den Bürgern. Den hier. Den habe ich ausgesaugt. Das war aber kein Neutrale, der hat ja vorher irgendjemand ins Wasser geschubst.
I hope they'll all return to the shadows once the epidemic has passed.
Das glaube ich nicht. Also mein Ziel ist ja so viel wie möglich nicht auszusaugen, außer die hier. Bis jetzt komme ich ganz gut zurecht.
Not a good place. Over there! There's one of them.
Every hole without a rat could be hiding in wait.
This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate that. Giselle's stolen money. Pre-winner.
Entscheider wartet mit Giselles. Springst zurück, oder?
Has some unethical ways of financing their war.
Hey, to each man his duty. Ours is to flush every hole that a rat could be hiding away. Don't have to start with the darkest hole.
They've got bigger problems elsewhere.
Immer noch nichts zum Aufwerten. Oh, ich habe eine neue Pistole. Soll ich leveln oder soll ich noch nicht leveln? Wenn ich jetzt level, da verändert sich wieder was in der Umgebung. Trotzdem, ich habe 2000, das muss eigentlich gelevelt werden. Okay, hier sind noch alle gesund. Hier wird es immer schlechter wird es hier. Du musst doch zurück, du musst deiner helfen, das gibt's nicht. Da oben ist das. Was ist denn hier? Hier hat ein Ereignis stattgefunden.
I cannot enter.
Oh, lauter Ereignisse.
Best be off home.
Immer noch zwei, ja.
It's locked, all right.
She does it, boys. We can deal with this vermin. See them fancy clothes? This one. To the top.
It's one of them!
There's one of them! Watch yourselves!
It's a leech! Kill it!
Aber wo laufe ich denn hin? Gibt's doch nicht, hä?
Over there! There's one of them vermin! Stop! Vampire!
Watch yourselves! There's one of them!
So, da ist krank.
Good evening, Mr. Whitaker.
It's Father Whitaker, my son. So, are you still lost in your rational delusions?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
If you propagate the devil's work, you'll
Aber
perish
das
by the
fügt sich
devil's
automatisch mit der Zeit, wenn ich ein paar Ratte zu mir nehme.
Don't you fear getting sick yourself?
Faith gives me all I need, my son. If I must fall, then so be it.
No doubt your faith will prevail, but let me give you some extra protection against the devil's work. Medicine.
Blessed be your generosity, my son.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
So, wer noch?
You again? What do you want this time?
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I saw her wandering the streets. Yesterday, I think. She didn't recognize me. People say she's lost it. Sad story.
Can I offer you my medical expertise, Mr. Peterson?
Keep your medicines for others.
There is a thin line between pride and stupidity, sir. Please take this medication. You'll feel better.
All right. I'll take it then. It's not like I don't appreciate the gesture.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Do you need help, sir?
To be honest, I'd prefer you take a look at my stuff. I'd rather be rich and sick than the contrary.
I don't quite agree, but I won't argue with you. Please, take this. You'll feel better.
Really? Free? Don't take it personally, but charity usually comes at a price. Human nature being what it is.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Das ist der Blinde, wo so krank ist, aber ich komme da nicht an den Rand, der hat noch Bahnstufe 3. So, jetzt muss ich die noch finden. Das glaube ich an der Kirche ist die irgendwo. Ne, das ist er nicht. Auch nicht. Auch nicht. Wo ist sie dann? Wo ist die?
It's locked.
You look so pale.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
People are talking about this Colossus. Perhaps I should look into it.
Da ist er.
Its effectiveness has been proven. Good evening, my dear colleague.
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I have no doubt it will. But I'm not against a second opinion, Dr. Reed.
Well, there you have it. Take this remedy, but be discreet. It may damage your business otherwise.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Perhaps we'll talk again.
So, jetzt ist hier ein Ereignis. Das möchte ich auch gern wissen, was das ist. Was ist das denn überhaupt?
Good evening, Mr. Petrescu. What are you doing here?
I could ask you the exact same question, Mr. Doctor. Now leave me alone.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
You believe them? Aren't you too old to hold a weapon or listen to scary stories?
Yes, I am old and alone and will die soon, but if these stories are true, maybe I have found myself another cause.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
Nee, das ist der nicht, oder?
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone. Thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Hier hat sich ein Ereignis statt.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oder? Nee, weiter. Ist das die Schwester? Das war doch die Schwester, oh. Ich glaube, da ist nicht mehr zu helfen, oder? Oh, ich habe einen Schlüssel gekriegt. So. Für was war der Schlüssel? Aha. Schöne Blume +1. Ja. Aha. Muss ich das? Jetzt dieser stumme Geber, vermutlich. Der Schal, den habe ich dem Eigentümer zurückgegeben. Da hat der Frau gehört, wo sich für Geld verkauft. Ich verlaufe mich doch ständig.
Come on, Barry, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week?
I'm cheap and I'm clean, I promise.
Hello again, miss.
Immer noch nichts.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence.
Ja, genau, die. Ich bin günstig und sauber. Der. Von ihr war der Schal.
Very well. Goodbye then.
So. Weil ich irgendeine Information noch nicht habe über sie, wo ich die andere freischalten kann. Und wenn ich sie anspreche, wo sie nicht wieder hin. Wenn ich sie anspreche, sind noch Fragezeichen.
We can deal with this, Vermin. Killing bastard!
Ah, falsche Seite. Falsche Seite.
How are you this evening, Jonathan?
The scowl that escaped from the hospital is eluding me. He must be caught.
Scowls are a risk to the balance we maintain. It needs to be stopped.
The head of the guard of Prewan stopped by to see Dr. Swansea.
You have nothing to fear. The guard would not risk openly challenging the Brotherhood. Even they are not that foolish.
War der, wo die Alte getötet hat im Krankenhaus und ist dann, wo ich hinter nachgelaufen bin, bis zu den Docks, wo du gesagt hast, das ist so einer, wo Hexe verbrennt. Das ist das Skull, wo die Alte getötet haben sollte.
Now that the hunters are aware of my presence, they could discover your whereabouts too.
Ja, der Priester,
Don't worry. I've
ja, so
evaded those
Priester
jackals
ist
in the
es.
past, and I shall do so in
Aber
the
er hat
future.
gesagt, er war das nicht und dann soll ich zur Kanalisation die Hinweise nachgehen, ob er es nun war oder nicht.
I noticed there was no love lost between the Brotherhood and the Guard.
They share the same fascination in our species, but they diverge from any commonality in thought. Talk to Dr. Swansea if you wish to know more.
When we were at the funeral, I had a feeling. I think I met my maker.
You do not have to tell me if you don't wish to.
Should I not?
In most circumstances, a vampire would not discuss his maker. There is a strong bond that exists between a maker and their progeny.
There is almost nothing to say. He appeared in a gush of blood, prattled off some riddles, and vanished without even telling me his name.
Be on guard, Jonathan. Whoever your maker is, he's obviously as powerful as he is elusive.
You certainly hate skulls.
No, not hate. I pity them. Damaged and broken for eternity. Can you imagine, Jonathan? Can you imagine what they must be suffering?
Do you think they can be trusted?
They are weaker than us in every sense. From their abilities to being able to control their hunger. There is a savagery in them.
I would not have labeled them all the same. I've met some that are quite clever, in fact. Much like people.
I am sorry. You should know Skal is derived from slave. Vampires have never looked kindly on their lesser progeny.
Goodbye for now, my lady.
I wonder why the Goswicks came here in the first place.
Jonathan, have you got any news about Sean Hampton?
I'm still investigating. In the meantime, I have some questions.
All right, just ask.
Tell me, Edgar, have you ever heard about a vampire made of blood? I mean, without any physical form, but a shape of blood.
What are you talking about? Have you seen such a phenomenon yourself?
No. I was just daydreaming. Since blood seems to be the key of our existence, I imagined what could be the ultimate state of a vampire.
I see. Well, too bad you didn't see such a creature. It could have been a fascinating subject of observation.
Ja, das haben wir
What is
gesehen.
the antagonism between your Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole and the Guard of Priwen?
It is an old and sad story, Jonathan. Story of a betrayal and of a definitive schism.
Who betrayed who?
I suppose each side would tell you the fault lies with the other. This I know for sure. A long time ago, members of the Brotherhood chose to hunt down vampires.
How many are you in the Brotherhood?
You mean today? Not many. A dozen, perhaps even less since the war. We are scholars, Jonathan. We favor quality to quantity.
Tell me, Edgar, How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
I met her 9 years ago. I was working in Scotland at the time in a sanatorium the good lady visited from time to time. She subsequently offered me a position here, at the Pembroke Hospital.
Why offer you this position?
I'd already been experimenting with blood-borne diseases and transfusion methods. Without success, I'm afraid. How could I refuse such a fascinating creature? So, in 1911, I took charge of the Pembroke.
Pembroke Hospital. Why that name?
I'm not quite sure. I think it's meant to refer to the Earl of Pembroke. Perhaps it's someone she used to know?
Tell me, Edgar, have you ever heard about a vampire made of blood? I mean, without any physical form, but a shape of blood.
So. So, ich werde jetzt nochmal EP ausgeben. Und dann werde ich leider beenden müssen. Ja. So, jetzt, wenn ich jetzt bestätige, müsste ich eigentlich wieder etwas verändern, und zwar ins Positive, weil ich die ja alle Medikamente gegeben habe. So, hier ist weiterhin gesund, das ist okay. Hier müsste es sich jetzt verändert haben. Ja, ein bisschen. Jetzt sind wieder welche krank. Eieiei. In dem Gebiet war ich noch gar nicht hier. Ich muss das hier aber noch auf stabil bzw. auf gesund kriegen. So. Ja. Aber ich muss jetzt Schluss machen, leider. Wir sehen uns oder schreiben uns im Stream heute Abend dann. Ja, vielen Dank. Vielen Dank fürs Dabeisein. Ich wünsche dir noch einen schönen Tag.